Well, here we are again. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing? My name is Logan. I'm a semi-retired YouTuber. Yeah, sounds pretty dramatic, doesn't it? Anyway, this is, uh, was supposed to be helpful. What it is, very quickly. This is just my pacing and stuff, and yes, it is 4:30 in the AM, because I'm a fucking scumbag. Just a quick look at the achievements, and yes, ooh, you don't play online. It's because I got fucking anxiety. I'm afraid that people beat up on me. Okay, I'm very nervous, very scared. But listen, what I'm gonna do here is I am going to play through this entire game, right? And I'm going to do it using my own decks, but at the same time, I will go through the original series, GX, 5Ds, and Zexal. If you do not have the game, I believe it is $15 on the PlayStation Network and Xbox Live market. The way it pretty much works is in each series there are four. They call them towers, consisting of 5 duels. With the final one, the one being at the very top, in this case it'd be Maximilian Pegasus. This one would be a match, which pretty much means it's a best 2 out of 3, like a match. So, of course, each tower doesn't necessarily progressively get harder. However, I will say that it seems like it's not like this one is easy, that one is, more adept, that one's even further adept, and this is hard. It's not really that way at all. The way it really is, at least from my experiences, is like Taya here would be the easiest. Then it gets harder as it progresses, and then it resets every single time. And of course, Tristan is pretty easy. Most of the Yu-Gi-Oh section is actually very easy. Kaiba, unless you around Kaiba is when it starts getting a little bit harder. And I do believe that I lost to Odeon once. So, really quickly, yes, return to the main menu. We're going to go to deck edit. I do not have the fancy Gosu decks. I will not amaze you with anything I have. Logan's OG deck, if you do not know, if you have Decade Duels, which of course I ran a short series on. Once you download Millennium Duels and you load it up, it pretty much says it's okay, you can use your cards from Decade Duels. That is perfectly acceptable. So that's what that is. But really quickly, just a quick rundown of what I have here, and if something is misspelled, I apologize. Generally, trust me, I tell people I am no grammar Nazi, I am grammar Hitler. However, I'm going to have to ask, or beg rather, for your forgiveness. And there you go. There you go, that's it. I do have 2 Elemental Heroes decks, because once again, I'm a fucking scumbag. I have used recipes from the characters. Like I said, I've beaten every character in the game, and the way it works is in Decade Duels, it tell you who used a deck. In this game, because of Expert Mode, where you pretty much go through it all over again, but you're facing harder decks, they just have the deck names for this one, or rather the ideal behind it. Like Insect Evolution, that you'd be using some weird Cocoon of Evolution shit going on right there. And of course that deck is pretty bad, but Ultimate Insect is Weevil's upgraded one. And of course we have Toons, which is Pegasus's that's a mouthful. Original deck, and then of course Relinquished is his second deck, which is considerably harder. And one thing that you'll notice about Millennium Duels, if you haven't played it, is that a lot of the cards that were banned in Decade Duels is actually okay to use here. Like Blackluster Soldier Envoy of the beginning. I don't know if it's pronounced envoy or envoy, but I've always heard it pronounced envoy. I'll leave that for you to decide. However, that one is completely allowed, and then there are things that are just straight up not fucking allowed that were in the last one. And like Dark Hole, that card actually pisses me off, and it might actually piss me off over the series here. However, the duel that we're gonna have on today's episode, because I plan on doing it one by one instead of by tower, because I think by tower would take too fucking long. But the first one is Taya, and that's for people who haven't played Decade Duels, and for those who don't want to buy a bunch of packs of cards, because the initial deck that they give you is fucking garbage. Let me show you this real quick. This is the initial deck. If you don't believe me, it says so right there. Well, not necessarily if you didn't believe me, but in case you missed it. And it's well, I mean, by all means, it isn't the fucking worst, but like Battle Steer, use that. I actually like Beautiful Head Huntress. Um, yeah, as you can see, it's nothing. I mean, you get a fucking flaming Pegasus, which is pretty cool, but other than that, there's nothing really that outstanding here. Uh, actually, those Twister cards, I use those a lot, or at least I think I did. I know that I know it doesn't make sense, and yes, I have bought a little bit of the DLC, just because the decks I had were getting stale, and all my ideas, I was short a few uh, in my fucking noggin, just because I'm not creative enough, and plus I don't have all the cards. Obviously, I'm missing quite a few. However, I'm not gonna let that deter us from having fun here. And our very first duel here is Taya. Um, and she is absolutely simple. And yes, that is named F. Bakura. The expert mode Bakura is fucking no, actually it's the first Bakura, because he has some of that Final Destiny shit. And then expert mode, I got stuck on Yugi's grandpa, because he's running fucking Exodia. Uh, and TRAP, that is a complete deck made of all traps and 5 spell cards, I think. And that is maybe 6 or 7, but that deck is absolute fucking stall. And just in the interest of time, and if I come across somebody who's a little bit too hard, generally I whip it out. And yes, I got screwed by the character cap there. I wanted it to be dramatic, supposed to be Darkness Eternal, but sort of fucked me there. So Jake's favorite, Black Wings. So I'm gonna pick the fire deck here. Yeah, I might make a separate video if it's requested. Man, I'm saying so fucking much. Expert YouTuber here. Sorry, people. Sort of shaking off the rust here, but uh, you know what? The fuck ever. Let's get into it here. I didn't even see if I went first or second, but this deck named is I'm on Fire. It is completely orientated around fire. And of course, Molten Destruction here. It hits hard, it hits quickly. That's the idea and the concept behind it here. So, and one thing I think people dislike the most about my former series was that I spent more time. That's fine. That's fine. I don't care if she gets a lot of shit, because Taya absolutely fucking sucks. I'm not going to beat around the bush any at all. And I will take a little bit of damage, but I believe the strongest card that she has is, I can never remember what it is. It's either Angel Fairy or Shining Friendship or some shit like that. It has 1400 attack points. This deck is very much so based around well, this sucks. Let's see. What is his effect? When this card destroys a monster. Okay. Increase your life points. So she's going to get a lot of life points, but it really, really doesn't matter. And there is, in the next few episodes, it's going to be a lot more analytical, I promise, because I've played this enough. Um, I'm not going to do it. It's just, it's not worth it. I'd rather wait. This will work splendidly. I don't have any Blaze Accelerator shit going on. Um, there is somebody in this game that runs that deck, and it actually makes me physically sick at my stomach when I go up against that Blaze Accelerator deck. That's not me shitting on you if you like that deck, but by all means, you use what you fucking want to, but So what I'm thinking right now is I got some very strong cards. She has 3 defense position monsters. I don't think she has anything like a man-eater bug or anything like that. I don't know the recipe by heart. I haven't faced Taya that much. But I do know that I need to get rid of this air hummingbird. Excuse me. Goodness gracious. Drinking a lot of Mountain Dew. Yeah, I'm that kind of guy. Plays fucking video games for people on the internet 4:30 in the morning, drinking fucking Mountain Dew. When the effect of an opponent's monster is activated. Okay. That's actually a pretty beast effect. I don't know. I sort of want to use this Fire Monarch here. That's Thestalos? Is that what it is? I'm not fucking sure. If it was... Everything she has is pretty low level. God damn it. I'm sorry about that. I could have swore I turned that shit off. As a matter of fact, unprofessional. That's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to do preferences. I believe if I'm set to busy, the things don't show up. There's also another way of doing that, but it's a lot more fucking time consuming. So, I don't really think there's a problem here. I think the only problem is going to be getting rid of all of those, Oh, that's cute. Well, she's almost doubled her life points. Actually, this is sort of what I wanted. Let me explain. Of course, Flame Ruler, every fucking card I have in this deck is fire. So, Dragonic Knight, obviously a 2 tribute summon. It's fire attributed. So, I'll be able to get rid of Flame Ruler next turn. And obviously she's in for a bunch of well, actually, that may have been if I had attacked with Flamvel Grunica. I don't fucking know how to pronounce that, but I know he's a fucking beast. Then his effect would have done a little bit more damage, but I really don't think that it's going to make any difference in the end. Like I said, Taya, pretty easy opponent. Very much so, sort of a, you know what, you have some shit cards, we're going to give you a shit opponent. That's sort of the preface behind it here. We use Flame Ruler's effect there. Summon out Dragonic Knight. And we will fucking use Salamandra here to boost that shit up even further. Imagine that dragon right there. Imagine his sword as a giant fucking fire sword. And we'll continue on. And just like that, all of Taya's life points are gone. And I'll probably be able to finish this up by my next turn. And if any particular deck, once again, interests you, please uh, leave it in comments, and I'll go over the card or the deck recipes. My apologies, in more detail in like some separate offset thing. There we fucking go. First win. Spirit of the Pot of Greed, Blade Bouncer. They do have a separate or a new way of doing it. Instead of the way that it was done in Decade Duels. And I much prefer this, where they're just all placed out in front of you and you look at them as long as you want. I think it's a little bit more convenient. Indeed, you're right. N4, mate. So, there we go. And with that challenge completed, we're on to our next one. I hope everybody enjoyed this little first episode introduction. My name is Logan. I want to thank you for watching, and I hope to see you at the next one.